obviously pushes us to think differently, which we were not very accustomed to, considering how the e-commerce market was working for the last 3-4 years in Pakistan. So for us, it's a very good thing because it helped us evolve as a technology partner, which is more now compliant with international standards. That's it from my side, Rida, on this.
We are facing COVID issues nowadays. So, Sir Umar Sahi, what was the impact of COVID on the footwear industry, and how did Zomo capitalize on it?
So, देखिए COVID का impact on any industry was essentially the same. आपका retail sector, and this is right from when COVID started, it hit the retail sector really badly. And what happened at that time was companies who had invested in e-commerce beforehand were in a position where they could either sustain themselves, or if they did it really, really well, they could really enhance their reputation in the market. As opposed to companies जो उससे पहले traditionally legacy companies जिन्होंने e-commerce पे इतना invest नहीं किया था, that is when they really started to struggle. So पहला impact, सबसे बड़ा impact, not just on the footwear industry, on the retail industry in general, was that it's एक वो stampede की तरह hit किया to a lot of businesses, that our lack of investment or a lack of focus in e-commerce is going to hit us really badly. So एक वो conversion लेके आया in mindset of and it really helped because some of these were really big companies. So उनके mindset में conversion लेके आया that there is a significant need to switch to e-commerce. Why they had to do it? Unfortunately, because of a pandemic, and it's sad for me to say that it took a pandemic for us to realize it, but realize हो गया. So that was the effect in general, overall. Footwear pay effect, again, the same effect applies to the footwear industry as well. But like I said earlier, even then, if you look at the figures in terms of comparison to other industry segments, footwear में उतनी substantial growth नहीं आई थी. There was growth, yes, but as a comparison to other segments, it wasn't as high. और उसका वही reason आ जाता है कि footwear industry online, there was no one has ever really tried to do it. Even the biggest brands in the country, like I said before, have never really tried, because उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा significant investment and undeterring focus चाहिए, because it's not an easy thing to do. Try before you buy as a concept बड़ा अच्छा लगता है और customers के लिए है भी बहुत अच्छा, but and Umar would also understand it, जो उसके पीछे back end सारी everything that goes into making try before you buy work is a massive hassle. So no one really took that risk before. And that's the risk we took essentially. All of our focus, investment, our ethos developed around it. So when we sat for the first time at Zomo to create the company, it was a 2-hour session. And the only thing we spoke about in those 2 hours, at that time, it wasn't even technology. It wasn't e-commerce operations. It was purely customer services. Literally what we did was we listed down all of the gaps that currently exist, what we feel as customers within the e-commerce market, and how do we fill those gaps. So that was our advantage. Our advantage was the fact that COVID ने एक जो existing gap था footwear industry में, because लोग नहीं उतना trust करते थे, उसको ज़्यादा enhance कर दिया, because now people wanted to buy online, and more people were now buying online. They were just not buying footwear as much as they should, and there was a very simple reason for it. Just the product ka nature and uska life cycle. We answered that problem. And it wasn't just try before you buy, it was just customer services as a whole. जो हमारी customer services team है, जो interact करती है customers के साथ, their interaction, not just how often that interaction is, but the way they interact with the customer. It's 24/7, so even if you're calling at 2 a.m., you will be greeted with a very, very welcoming voice. These people have to make hundreds of calls a day, and they're human beings. And even though they're trained really well, they can always, because customers can get angry at times. But the way they speak to customers, the way they pacify customers, and the way they listen, basically, हमारे agents कम बोलते हैं और बस हम customer को बोलने देते हैं. And that's what really sets us apart, right? The whole customer services life cycle closes with our customer care center, where we have some very, very talented people who look after, our customers. That is, how we capitalized on not just COVID impact on the footwear industry, but the general trend in the footwear industry at that time.
So you may have gone through some research before joining hands with Alchemative. So how would you differentiate Alchemative from other service providers, and what made you choose it?
Okay, so the answer is actually very simple. So I had worked with Alchemative before during my time at Sapphire. So I was very aware of what Alchemative has to offer, and I'll get into detail on that. So, but essentially, so हमारे लिए the question actually was never whether to choose Alchemative or not. हमारे लिए question was, so when we started, we were essentially जब start किया था तब we were using Magento. So हमारे लिए जो question था जिसका answer we were trying to find was, should we stick to Magento or should we switch to Shopify? And we asked a lot of people whether we should do it or not. And everyone came in with their area of expertise. So if they were a Magento sort of expert agency or a Magento expert partner, they would come in and pitch Magento. If they were a Shopify expert agency or partner, they would come in with Shopify. अगर कोई और platform का expert था, वो pitch करते थे. So the first thing that put Alchemative aside is that they did not come in as a Shopify expert or a Magento expert. They came in as e-commerce experts. So when we said which one should we choose, we did not get an answer. Instead of that, we got a question in return. And that question was, what is your business model? What do you plan to do now, in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years? We are not going to pitch ourselves to you, or we're not going to pitch a platform to you. We are going to give you a solution, and then you can decide which partner you want to go with. So बाकी partners ने हमें pitch दी, Alchemative ने हमें solution दिया. That was the first thing that put Alchemative aside. And then obviously once you decide to go on Shopify Plus, considering that there is one Shopify Plus partner in the country, from my knowledge, I don't know if anyone else has been awarded that yet, but from my knowledge, Alchemative is the only Plus partner in the country, or at least in Lahore. It's common sense, because Umar ne jis tarah bataya, there was a lot of customizations that we needed to do, or traditionally हमें सबने बताया हुआ था कि you have to live within the Shopify spectrum, आप customizations नहीं कर सकते, checkout पे तो आप कुछ छेड़ ही नहीं सकते, checkout पे तो Shopify allow नहीं करता छेड़ने को, और हमारी सबसे बड़ी customization checkout पे थी. Alchemative was the only one who provided us with a solution. Other people did, but they weren't solutions, they were workarounds. Alchemative provided us with a solution. So from day one, the relationship was very clear that this is not essentially an agency brand relationship. This is a partnership where we grow because of Alchemative and Alchemative grows because of us. Uske baad, so that's the premise of it. Uske baad, to put it very simply, I think the tech expertise that they have, and it's not just related to Shopify, of e-commerce in general and the local e-commerce industry. How to work Shopify for the local industry, whether that's payment gateways, whether that's logistics solutions, whether that's your front end. So वो जो expertise है that the tech expertise, वो has helped us a lot, because हमारे लिए this happens on a daily basis, and we do put a lot of pressure on them, like Umar was saying. And that's where I think the second part about Alchemative comes in, that once pressure is put on them, there is always a return. The support that we get from them, both in terms of daily operations and developments, is very top notch. And that is essentially what puts them aside. I'm not saying other service providers don't do it, but in terms of our experience, it's been a very successful relationship so far, and I think we've grown together, and we will inshallah continue to grow in the years to come.
So my next question is from Umar Rana. Sir, how does Alchemative ascertain and offer solutions to its client that they would need for smooth operations?
Okay, on a first contact, whenever a customer contacts us, first of all, we classify them into a category. So we have sort of 3 internal categories, or not written categories, but something in our head, that there are 3 different types of customers that typically approach us. The first customer is normally who do not have an idea of how e-commerce works, but they have some kind of small retail presence. And because of the COVID, and even before COVID, we just heard that e-commerce is the future, so they want to explore that option. This is one of those customers where we straight away go into what you can say advisory and mentorship mode, because we know that they do not know e-commerce. And we first of all establish this with them, that you are new to this, so you need to listen to us, you need to work with us, so we can take you step by step. Normally, these are the customers for which we actually have to go a bit of extra mile in terms of extending our support, because they typically do not have even the most basic processes or teams established for an e-commerce to work. Then the second category of customers are typically who are established retail or e-commerce merchants, established websites, and they come to us with either they want to migrate the platform or they have some problem statement with the existing platform or the technology framework or whatever. And we evaluate their situation, understand the scope, put up a proposal, and then the project starts and finishes. This is typically the most smooth project because the customer is evolved, they understand their model, and they're standard. They're not, they do not have, like Jomo, they do not have out-of-box requirements. They have standard requirements. Then the third type of entities typically who have unique set of requirements, a different business model, especially a business model which has not been tested in Pakistan or being developed in Pakistan. This is where Jomo comes in. This is typically the most difficult type of customer we get because in this case, we actually have to come into that partnership mode, which Umar actually suggested. Because unless we really understand their business model and we really understand the long-term expectations from the technology company and the technology platform in general, we cannot pitch a solution to them. So these are typical three types of customers we interact with, we handle. So normal processes, they come on board, we complete the project, and once the project is completed, the project is put into operations. And from customer to customer, it varies what kind of operation services they get from us or somebody else, it doesn't matter. But that's how the process goes.
So, sir, what's the outcome of this brand agency partnership to you?
To me, okay. If I put it in one word, is evolution. Because when the right kind of synergetic partnerships are established, everything levels up. Because we have to level up, and in return, even because if we are able to cater to the requirements of our partner, the partner will definitely think about new ways of doing things, and they will come up with more requirements. And this iterative process actually levels of everything up, and the whole new business model actually establishes. In turn, what happens is our capacity and capability increases. So as an agency, working with brands like Jomo, our capacity and capability enhances, which is a benefit to the market itself. Because, for example, now if a customer comes to us and asks us to implement scheduled delivery, we do not have to think about it and do not have to do any further R&D. We can implement straight away, and other business models as well. So this, in turn, I believe, helps the whole ecosystem evolve. So it is very important for an agency to have customers like Jomo, who are thinking out of the box, who are trying to evolve the model beyond the standard e-commerce, in a way, who are actually pushing the boundaries of technology and what is possible, what is not possible. That helps the whole ecosystem.
Okay. So, Sir Umar Sahi, sir, so far, which services you are availing from Alchemative as you are a partner in this, and the services?
Sorry, आपकी आवाज कट रही थी. If I heard you correctly, you were asking what services we're availing from Alchemative and what our partnership is like.
Yeah. So, which services you are availing from Alchemative, and what's the best thing about the team and the service?
Okay, so we look at Alchemative as our consultants, and I'm not going to term them as e-commerce consultants or tech consultants. We consider them business consultants because I think mutually there's an understanding of where we want to be, what we want to do, and how Alchemative can help us get there. So that's the relationship. In terms of exact services that we're getting from them, so there are partners for all things Shopify, whether that's front end, whether that's back end operations, whether that's Shopify tech, integrations. So within Shopify and outside Shopify, जितनी भी हमारी tech है, जो infrastructure है, जितनी भी integrations हैं, like Umar mentioned, we're bringing basically a new brand on board every week. What that means is integration from A to Z with that brand, उनका master data, उनके images, उनकी inventory, वो वाली integration. So that is what Alchematives helps us with in terms of smoothing that process and making sure that it happens in a very robust manner. So that's the support, that's the tech support part of what Alchemative offers us. What they also do for us is operational support. So we're obviously always looking ahead, but you have to sustain yourself, existing operations, day-to-day daily operations. They help us there too in terms of product management, data management, inventory management. So जो हमारे daily operations हैं, making sure that all the on-site experience is running smoothly. That's the second thing that we do for them. And then the third thing that we do is any out of the box project, because we do like to think outside the box and we try and come up with something new every week. So वो जैसे ही कोई नई चीज आती है, I will call up Umar or someone from Alchemative straight away and say कि ये idea है, ये please करना है. And so far we haven't heard a no. And so far everything that we wanted to do has been done. So jitne bhi, everything that's beyond day-to-day operations and integrations and tech, we also rely on Alchemative for that. One of the projects that we have just very, very recently closed is our new theme, Jomo's new theme and new website. That is all good to go, and we will launch it right after Eid. And we're very, very happy with what we've achieved there, both in terms of the design, the structure, navigation, layout, uski optimization, mobile friendliness. So the new theme and website, quite like Jomo's philosophy, is a bit revolutionary. So we're very happy with it. So all things from those angles, that's the services that we take from Alchemative, and that's how we work with them on a daily basis.
Okay, my next question is from like both of you. Can you please share some figures or stats? What would be, which would be the interest of our audience? Like starting from Sir Umar Sahib.
I'd actually ask Umar to start with this. I think he can give a better overview of what's happening. Kya situation.
Yeah.
So in general, we all are aware that e-commerce is growing at a rapid pace, rather at a very consistent pace. Obviously, 2020 was a different scenario. It had a exceptional growth in 2020 because of COVID and all. But in general, from the last 5-6 years, it's a very consistently upward rising trend towards e-commerce. And as of now, I think you've touched $4 trillion in terms of global B2C e-commerce numbers. And I was just reading a report from an eMarketer, a company making reports on retail in general. As per their prediction, this year, the e-commerce will actually switch, the revenue numbers will switch between e-commerce and retail. So e-commerce will have a growth trajectory, whereas retail will have a downward trajectory. The e-commerce will actually surpass retail business in this year. These are a few numbers. Other than that, 53% growth was has been seen in the last 1 or 2 years, especially during COVID for groceries and food deliveries and items, which non-fashion items. And out of this 53%, 47% is there to stay. It's not going back. So there's a mindset which I would actually like to address later on after this stats question. There's a mindset in the market which is waiting for the time that e-commerce will go down, retail will come back. That's not going to happen anyway. E-commerce is the future, and stats are clearly showing there's only one way forward, and that is e-commerce. Umar, if you would like to add something.
Yeah, so I think you nailed it there. That's basically what it is. I think general trend is all upwards. There is no कोई chance नहीं है e-commerce का to decline. Internet penetration is increasing. Smartphone usage is increasing. I was reading the other day, I think Pakistan is in the top 10 customer buyers of smartphones in the last year. So उससे क्या हो रहा है? Obviously स्मार्टफोन्स लोग क्यों खरीदने हैं? बिकॉज इंटरनेट पेनिट्रेशन है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि स्मार्टफोन और इंटरनेट लिंक्ड हैं, और जब वो यूज करेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली ई कॉमर्स की ग्रोथ आएगी. Umar mentioned there's a 53% growth in the last 2 years. Another stat that I was reading was March 2020 when COVID really hit Pakistan. तब से लेके March 2021, which is 1 year, 26% जो total e-commerce audience थी, उसमें से 26% were people who had never purchased online for the first time. So ये 26% की audience थी जिसने इससे पहले e-commerce पे shopping की ही नहीं थी, which is massive in 1 year. So what that tells us is that more, besides the fact that internet, infrastructure, smartphones, everything else is on the rise, what is also on the rise are more and more customers and newer customers, audiences and segments that were never traditionally thought of as an e-commerce buyer are now an e-commerce buyer. What that does for a marketer or for a brand is it opens up a lot of new opportunities. Because वो लोग जिनको आप पहले billboards के through, TV ads के through, magazines, newspapers के through reach out करने की कोशिश करते थे, now they too are a click away. So it's a bit like going back to 2011, 12, 13, जब वहाँ पे we started reaching out to the millennials. Don't know what to call this segment because they're definitely not millennials. But ये भी वो लोग हैं basically. Now it's the same trend. So वो increase obviously it's on the up, and like Umar said, there is no scenario that I foresee or anyone foresees where this is going to go down. So e-commerce is going to not just overtake, it is going to overtake retail, but then it's going to leave retail behind with a massive gap in the next couple of years.
So, sir, as a head of
So Umar ne just pointed out there are a lot of new consumers on e-commerce, and I am one of them actually. I used to buy some apparel, some gadgets, that's fine, but I never bought shoes online, and Jomo made me do it. Other than that, now I am a dedicated fan of buying groceries online. No need to go to grocery stores. So, and even after the grocery stores are up, everything was normal, markets are open, I still do not go to markets anymore because that's the most convenient way of doing buying online. It's easy. Jirida.
From Sir Umar Sahi, being a head of e-commerce, where would you like to, where would you want to see Jomo in next few years?
At the
Can
top.
you hear me?
See, I can. So the simple answer to that is at the top. What is the top? The top is basically, like I said, right at the start, the de facto fashion store of the country. We're on our way there. I think jo abhi tak humne, the path that we've set for ourselves has definitely set us apart. And we would basically like to be, the company that everyone, or a brand that everyone, that is first, top of mind for customers as soon as they think anything fashion. Or anything lifestyle for that matter, right? So it's not, we might not be restricted to fashion 5 years from now. We might have expanded beyond, because essentially we are a lifestyle brand. जब lifestyle की बात करते हैं, lifestyle में फिर technically smartphone भी आ जाता है. The phone that you use is part of your lifestyle. घर पे जो furniture पड़ा है, that's also part of the lifestyle. So there are no barriers to us, which is the first thing. We're not restricted to something, but something that we would definitely want to see Jomo at, and are very confident will be there, is the de facto fashion store of the country. And within that, the best online shopping experience, जिसमें आपकी सारी customer services और सारा आ जाता है. That, so those two things combined, that is what Jomo is as a concept, in ethos. That's for who we are, and we would just like to be the best at it 3-5 years from now.
So the last question from my side is, what would you like to tell our audience about the future of fashion, and in particularly online fashion brand? Any tips and pros and cons for people wanting to start this business?
I think so Umar had mentioned previously the psyche of, notion of retail वापस ऊपर आ जाएगा. I think I'd like him, that answers this question perfectly. So I'd like him to explain that, because I think that's essentially the answer to this question.
So when you're talking about new fashion brands coming on board, there are two types of customers, or two types of customer I would divide this answer for. So first one is people who are actually new to e-commerce and they want to experiment, or they are positive about e-commerce and they're just starting out. So them, the most important thing is about the product. They need to be very sure about the product. COVID के अंदर एक ट्रेंड देखने में आया कि everybody now wants to be an e-commerce merchant. उसके पास प्रोडक्ट है या नहीं है, वो कभी किसी से सोर्स कर ले, वो किसी से खरीद ले, बस वो ई-कॉमर्स पे आ जाए. That's not working out, because हमारे पास बहुत सारे स्टोर्स हैं जो कि इस साल के अंदर खुल के बंद भी हो चुके हैं, even though e-commerce is on the rise. The very reason is people are not focusing on the product and then customer services and then the whole supply chain and logistics. It's not about just opening up a store and running it. It will not work like that. So this is an important thing for people who are just starting out. They need to really focus on their USPs, just like Jomu. Because Jomu के आने से पहले it was thought in Pakistan कि अब दराज बहुत बड़ा हो गया, अब किसी और को आने की जरूरत नहीं है. But Jomu proved it otherwise. तो इसका मतलब है कि there is always a room for with a new idea, with a USP which is unique to you. और ये शायद आज के बहुत सारे नए ब्रांड नहीं कर रहे. Then coming to the relatively more established players, this is where I would like to, because this is where we feel the most what you can say resistance. Three things which we routinely face is the herd mentality. Even brands which are pretty established as companies and brands, they are still waiting for some bigger player to do something before they start experimenting with it. Herd mentality will never give you anything. You will always be the second or third or maybe the last person in the race. If you want to be the number one, you have to come out of this herd mentality. This is a message for especially larger brands, because most of them are actually waiting for somebody else to experiment and then see what happens. And then medium to large nostalgia. There are brands in Pakistan, there are CEOs in Pakistan, brand owners in Pakistan who are essentially waiting for COVID to end, shops to open, and things can go back to the way they were. This is never going to happen. You have to move forward. There's no way going back. Coming back to players like Jomu and companies who are actually putting in effort, I believe there is a lot of emphasis right now on the output in terms of marketing. Everybody is looking at CTRs and conversion ratios and all these things. I believe there should be more focus on inputs to an e-commerce platform. So inputs like customer experience, inputs like delivery timelines, the things which Jomu have focused on. Inputs are much more important than the outputs, because if you improve the inputs, outputs automatically improve. So this is all I have to say about e-commerce in general, or fashion in general.
I guess this is great. Thank you so much for these amazing insights. I hope our audience was enlightened and got to know a lot of stuff about Jomo and e-commerce. So I guess this is it for today. Over to you, Anam, for the questions from Facebook, if any.
Yeah, thank you, Rida, and thank you, Umar and Omar. It was really an amazing session. Thank you for enlightening us with the wonderful information regarding e-commerce, Alchemative, and Jomo. We have got some really interesting questions. I'll try to ask all of them to you, but कुछ जो हैं वो एक ही context में है, तो I'll try to couple all of them together. अभी हम last बात कर रहे थे about the e-commerce industry and how we are foreseeing in next couple of years. So one of the questions is on the same line, that next 5 years में where would you see this industry, कि किस तरह से ग्रो हो रही होगी, और इसी को अगर मैं कपल करूं दूसरे और क्वेश्चन के साथ, तो Umar Rana have shared some numbers regarding the e-commerce industry. So can you specifically tell us about the numbers in Pakistan? Yeah, Umar Rana.
Okay. So with respect to numbers, I think I do not have those numbers for Pakistan readily available in front of me, but it's very easy to find those numbers. You can simply do a quick Google search and see all those numbers. And most of those numbers are also available on State Bank's website, because State Bank is now taking interest in digital payments and e-commerce, and they are publishing growth patterns and conversions regarding e-commerce. Last time I heard, I think it have already crossed 2 billion rupees, but I'm not sure about it. You can easily research it on Google. So with respect to what is next 5 years for e-commerce, as I was saying, that brands need to experiment more. This essentially means that we need to be open with respect to evolution of e-commerce from the technology standpoint. Globally, we can clearly see that there is an increasing use of augmented reality in e-commerce. Why augmented reality? Because e-commerce is all about customer experience. Because if you do not have a shop, you are not going to a retail shop, you have to give customers an option to explore the product in as many possible ways as possible. Augmented reality is one of those technologies which actually enables the customer to experience the product in a three-dimensional form, or maybe even interact with it. Apple had implemented it. A lot of international brands have already implemented it. Augmented reality actually can be implemented not just for products like electronics and all. It can be implemented for shoe. It can be implemented for. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So it can be implemented for apparel, fashion, everything else. We had been experimenting with it on shoe as well, and as well with apparel. That we can augment a dress. For example, if you're able to experience with your mobile application, how would you look in a particular dress or with a particular shoe, that would actually ease your buying decision. So this is one area. Social commerce is something which is on the rise, and I believe social commerce is something which we should take seriously. All the major e-commerce players. Mobile application, traditionally in Pakistan, mobile applications are just another interface of shopping experience for a customer, just like website. Whereas we need to see mobile applications as a third channel rather than an extension of the web. It should be targeting location-based marketing. It should have beacon-based product information. It should have content personalization option. Content personalization is one of the most important aspects for e-commerce going forward, because consumers now are always looking for, are they more comfortable with a brand who personalizes its recommendations. That means we are talking about implementation of AI and machine learning technologies for buying recommendations for the customer. So this is something we see for next 3 years, 5 years, 4 years. But the technology use will keep on increasing, especially these technologies. Umar, would you like to say anything on this?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think what you basically said, that's essentially true. I think some of the figures that were given out were actually Pakistan based, so the 26% growth fee, that is for Pakistan specifically. And in terms of e-commerce and specifically fashion e-commerce, I think एक चीज जो more and more that we are realizing now is that जो core customer है, and this goes out for anyone either wanting to get into fashion or is already in fashion. So अभी तक generally थोड़ा mindset रहा है कि because the customer is not so tech savvy, they don't understand e-commerce as much. That's not true anymore. So the customer now is pretty tech savvy. Second, even if they aren't, what you need to understand within fashion is कि वो उतने tech savvy नहीं है, but they are very, very product savvy. So if you, for example, if you are a big brand and if you put up a product which is actually a year old and announce it as a new arrival, if you actually think people are not going to know, they will know. So customer psyche has essentially changed in the last 2 years, both in retail and in e-commerce. वो जो psyche when applied to e-commerce presents a bit of a challenge because physical interaction नहीं है customer के साथ. And then the bigger problem then becomes is that in a lot of cases, what you see on the website isn't really what you get delivered to you. There's a big difference. And then that's where, like Umar was saying, that's where an investment in technology needs to come in. So, machine learning, AI, yes, augmented reality, yes. But हम तो अभी augmented reality तो हमारे लिए बहुत दूर है. जो उससे पहले वाला part है, which is कि जो आपकी product photography है, उस पे भी I don't think there is enough focus. There isn't enough focus on doing high quality product photography so that customers जब वो order place करें अपना and they actually get the order, उसमें फिर what you see is actually what you get. वो थोड़े से challenges हैं purely from a customer angle, especially within fashion. But other than that, yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Rana. It was very comprehensive, and I think we have shared some amazing ideas for new and already existing e-commerce businesses. My next question would be from Umar Sahi, and I'm again coupling questions. How Zomo came up with the idea of try before you buy, and how Zomo convinced all his merchants to have policy of try and buy.
Okay. So how did we come up with the idea of try before you buy? Because we're all e-commerce customers and that's our biggest challenge. I order at least twice or thrice a month So try before you buy का concept कोई बड़ा, it wasn't like कि बड़ा कोई brainstorming session हुआ था, बड़ा कोई revolutionary concept निकल के आया था उस brainstorming session से. Try before you buy का concept arose because we are all e-commerce customers, and that is a challenge we face every time we place an order. And try before you buy was the solution to it. Yes, uski implementation, uski operations and everything that aside, but that's where try before you buy came. The reason why we succeed is because we always look at everything from a customer's angle. So company develop ही customer के mindset से हुई थी, and we think like customers as well. So that's where try before you buy came. We are e-commerce buyers. We want try before you buy. So does everyone else. Let's give them try before you buy. So that's where try before you buy came from. What was the second question?
आपने अपने merchants को किस तरह convince किया, because you are converting into a marketplace, आप इनको भी किस तरह convince कर रहे हैं to go for the same policy?
So the merchants themselves are not offering try before you buy. Only Jomo is offering try before you buy. So if you place an order from a particular brand, they won't give you try before you buy. But if you place an order for the same brand on Jomo, we will offer you try before you buy. Why can we do it? It's because we own our own logistics and fulfillment. So हमारे पास वो capability और power है to be able to offer try before you buy, because हम किसी external third party या 3PL को हम नहीं दे रहे. That's how we can do it. How do we convince, if that, I'm assuming that was the premise of the question. If the premise of the question was कि वो किस तरह मान जाते हैं try before you buy पे, वो इस तरह मान जाते हैं because at the end of the day deliver Jomo का रहा है, but जो product deliver हो रहा है वो उस brand का हो रहा है. So that brand is not just getting a customer, they are getting a very, very satisfied customer. So उस ब्रांड की जो equity है या उस पार्टनर या मर्चेंट की जो equity है वो इस ट्रांजैक्शन के थ्रू इंक्रीज हो रही है, because we essentially then become the middle team जो product to customer का gap bridge कर रही है. We're doing it better than anyone else, but at the end of the day है product brand की और brand ही पहन रहा है customer भी. So उससे brand की equity increase हो रही है, and that's why these merchants and these brands are so happy and willingly working with us, because they realize that they're not just getting more customers, they're getting more satisfied customers, and their brand equity is increasing.
Alright, so what I understand कि आप inventory hold करते हैं on certain brands who are working with you, and then you manage all the deliveries and shipments for that brand, right?
Yes.
Okay, so last question में you were talking about the pictures and photography part. उसी से related एक question है, just let me know कि आपका जो पुराना answer था regarding photography and good pictures, वो ही इस question को address कर सकता है कि नहीं, क्योंकि people are asking कि usually we don't get what we see on e-commerce, right? So how do you make sure the customer experience in terms of we get what we see can be better?
Very simple. Invest in your product photography. लेकिन generally जो fashion brands हैं उनकी दो किस्म की photography होती है. एक उनका lifestyle campaign shoot होता है और एक उनका product shoot होता है. अब जो budgets सारे जाते हैं वो जाते हैं lifestyle और campaign shoot में, but you can't use that shoot on your website because जो lifestyle और जो campaign shoot है उसका concept is to make the product look as grand and as big as possible. E-commerce product shoot का concept should be to make the product look as real as possible. So उसको आपने grandify नहीं करना. You need to make it look as real as possible. आप simple plain white background पे अगर एक product की अच्छी photography करके उसको website पे लगाएंगे, that will give you better results than a campaign shoot done in a forest in Hunza और पता नहीं टर्की शेर की जाके जो हो रहे हैं. Those are important. Those are very, very important for branding purposes. Yes. Please don't take that the wrong way. वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. That is essentially what drives e-commerce. But website पे, when the customer is buying a product, the simplicity in photography and the realism of photography is very important. उसमें investment की बहुत ज़रूरत है. And beyond that, smaller things कि जब product आप दिखा रहे हैं, how good is your photography and what are you offering in terms of dynamics? Can the customer zoom in and look at every angle of that particular product? So what we do at Jomo, we have 360 videos of all of our products. So अगर किसी ने जूता देखना है, that's a 360 video that gives you उसका overall view, and then you can also flip it. You can also zoom in ऊपर से नीचे से, so you can look at the sole very clearly. That's essentially what you need to do. So those steps हैं, make the product look as real as possible. उसको over edit ना करें please. And second is allow the customer to work around the product. उसको छेड़ के ऊपर नीचे side से जहाँ से जितना मर्जी वो देख सकें. That is the only way you will allow customers to actually get what they see on your website.
Awesome. Thank you. Umar Rana, my next question is towards you. Which platform does Ultimative offer as an agency other than Shopify? And someone else have asked about the cost of Shopify solution. So, agar aap share karna chahe, you can, and otherwise you can drop in your email address so that query can directly go towards you or yeah.
So as Ultimative, we do not limit ourselves to Shopify. Uh, we work on almost all major platforms: Magento, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Shopify, even custom platforms. But predominantly, as initially Umar have also identified this, we typically try to understand the customer's business model and suggest a platform. And what we have seen so far for brands, Shopify is the best platform there is because it actually eases them. It actually takes away all the technology pain from them, and they can just focus on their business model and their operations rather than running after the vendor to implement stuff. Because Shopify directly takes the responsibility of the platform and the e-commerce engine as a core platform. So yes, we work with Shopify mainly, but we work with other platforms. So this is one part of the answer. The other was Shopify cost. So if you're asking about the cost of Shopify, the cost which Shopify charges, you can easily get that from the Shopify's website. There are 4 different plans actually: $29, $79, $299, and $2,000. So these plans differ based on their features and functionalities. But with respect to the availability and bandwidth and capacity, all packages have equal capacity. So it's just the features and functionality which are different. If the question was with respect to what Alchemative charges from the customer, then as I mentioned earlier, we have to first classify the customer, what category they fall into. Are they a startup? We have a different plan for startup. We have a different plan for mature customers. We have a different plan for customers like Jomu who are implementing new business models. So yes.
All right. So the next question is again related to Shopify. Does Shopify align with the marketplace business model, seller admin panel, and dashboards, etc.? Shopify itself evolving in that direction.
So Shopify started out as a startup e-commerce platform, and Shopify still is, in a way, aligned with this mindset of brand e-commerce platform. So from its core, from looking at its core, Shopify have added a lot of features which can enable a marketplace to work. But if we say, is Shopify the best solution for a marketplace? No, Shopify is not the best solution for marketplace. And I've seen the question, there was a mention of seller center and admin panels and dashboard. And obviously when you're talking about marketplaces, you need to have partner portals and all that. So all that is not possible, or at least not present in Shopify. And so far the Shopify roadmap we have from them does not have these features planned, at least for 2021, 22, they're not there. But yes, they have enabled a couple of features which can enable a marketplace like Jomu and other marketplaces to operate. For example, multiple fulfillment locations and really advanced customizations, wholesale channel. But it's not a marketplace solution.
So going towards the extension of the same question, what other platforms would you recommend for such kind of marketplace operations, like where we can get seller dashboards, etc.?
So we are working with quite a lot of marketplaces as of now, and most of them are actually on. There is no off-the-shelf solution for any marketplace, because off-the-shelf solutions, be it Shopify, Magento, are off-the-shelf solutions. That means they are built for generic audience. They are built around the standard set of requirements. They are not built with a specific purpose. So if you look at all the major marketplaces across the world, none of them would be using off-the-shelf solutions. Most of them have developed custom solutions. If you talk about Amazon, Noon, Namshi, Daraz in Pakistan, and I see this, even Jomu might be actually doing it in some time. But because marketplaces, the way they evolved, the level of dynamism in their business model, and the level of integrations and connections they require across the ecosystem is typically not possible or very difficult with a off-the-shelf solution.
All right. So the same question, दो दफा किसी ने I think एक ज्यादा लोगों ने पूछा है because they are very much interested to know if Zomo is delivering worldwide outside Pakistan or not.
No, not yet, but we are planning to do that very, very soon. We are already in process of setting up our international fulfillment center. We're also working on an international website, a global website as well. So very soon, it's in the roadmap. It is planned for very, very soon. So if people are expecting to order from Zomo internationally, yes, they'll get it very soon, but not right now.
All right. So there's another Shopify related question. I hope it will go directly to the Umar Rana. Do you leverage the Shopify ecosystem, listed apps? Yeah, I think you have read it.
I think this is very important question because recently this has been raised to the level of Shopify as well by maybe our competition, that Alchemative have maybe a sort of monopoly in certain areas when it comes to integrations. So yes, we are leveraging Shopify ecosystem, and we have published all our work on Shopify ecosystem, which means you can find all the major integrations we have built for the last 4 or 5 years on Shopify apps portal. They are listed there. They're publicly available. You do not even need to contact us to use those applications. You can directly install them and use them. So yes, all of our major integrations are published.
All right. So my next question would be from Umar Safi. How does Zomo ensure premium customer service when compared with other online footwear stores? And I'll couple the same question with another one. What are the challenges you faced while providing try before you buy to the customers?
Okay, so how we provide premium customer service is basically the process starts as soon as you place order on the website. उससे पहले भी है obviously the way we communicate with them, but एक तो the one thing that sort of puts us apart from other brands in terms of ideology is that we do not segment our customers in terms of our services to them. तो अगर एक बंदा for example 800 की कोई चीज ले रहा है और एक बंदा 25,000 की चीज ले रहा है, we treat them as non-equal customers, because when it in terms of customer service, when it comes to customer service, each customer is equal, and each customer for us is a potential ambassador of our brand. So ideologically वो थोड़ा difference है. How do we make that experience premium? That's essentially the USPs which we've been talking about from the start of the session, which is delivery service. You get the fastest delivery in fashion. Same day in Lahore, 24 hours in all major cities. So starts from there के the experience of knowing कि अभी मैं order कर रहा हूँ, मुझे 4-5-6 घंटे में मिल सकता है. That's where the premiumness of the service starts. Then you also, within the delivery system itself, like I mentioned, time slots की option है. So it's built around making what is comfortable for you. Because e-commerce क्या है? E-commerce is convenience, right? So convenience is कि आपको उठ के कहीं जाना ना पड़े कुछ लेने के लिए, आपको घर बैठे बैठे मिल जाए. How can you enhance that convenience even more? घर बैठे बैठे मिल रहे हैं, बट अगर आपका प्लान है दोपहर को 2 से 6 बजे आपने सोना है और आपका ऑर्डर उस टाइम पे आए, वी डोंट नॉट वांट टू डिस्टर्ब यू एट दैट टाइम, व्हिच इज व्हाई वी आस्क यू कि आपका कौन सा प्रेफर्ड टाइम स्लॉट है. प्रेफर्ड टाइम स्लॉट के अंदर भी जब राइडर हमारा निकल रहा होता है ऑर्डर लेके, वी सेंड अनदर मैसेज टू द कस्टमर कि योर प्रेफर्ड टाइम स्लॉट इज दिस एंड वी आर ऑन आवर वे टू डिलीवर योर ऑर्डर. एंड इवन एट दैट पॉइंट इफ द कस्टमर आस्क्स अस कि मैं चेंज करना चाहता हूँ, प्लीज 2 घंटे बाद आ जाएं, वी एंटरटेन इट इवन देन. So it's end to end in terms of जब तक delivered नहीं होता, we are always, the customer always comes first, and then obviously try before you buy. Again, I'll focus on that. So at every point of the experience, especially once they have placed their order, we give them something that no one else is giving them, and that is what makes it premium. The second part was challenges for try
Yeah,
before.
challenges.
Yeah. So they can internally and operationally, yes, of course, it presents us with a lot of challenges. What are those challenges? If a customer knows that they can try before they buy, they can end up ordering 10 products where they only intend to actually buy 2. So वो 10 ऑर्डर कर लेते हैं कि चलो मैं सारे 10 ट्राई कर लूंगा, मैं देख भी लूंगा, रखने उसने 2 हैं. What that does for us is कि those 10 products, 2 तो उसने खरीदने हैं, but जो बाकी 8 हैं, for the period of time that they are being sent to the customer and coming back, are not available for us to sell online because that inventory is now physically out of our warehouse. So it does come often, एक opportunity cost उसकी आती है inventory holding की, that we might at times not be able to expose as much inventory to our potential customers as we actually physically have it. एक challenge ये है. दूसरा challenge उसका obviously थोड़ा सा logistically आ जाता है, because as much as we are robust, our delivery system is robust, उसमें obviously we need to be cognizant of the fact कि उसी rider ने अब आगे और भी orders deliver करने हैं. So we never push our customers to hurry, but there are always situations where वो बाहर कोई उसने ड्राइवर को भेज दिया या सर्वेंट को भेज दिया कि ऑर्डर ले आओ. Now the rider is waiting outside, the product has gone inside, जिसने ऑर्डर किया, they might take half an hour, 45 minutes to try the product, and the rider at that time is waiting outside, keeping in mind that that rider has to also go and deliver other orders. So इस तरह के challenges आते हैं, but at the same time I think जो हमने operational setup किया हुआ है and the tech support or the tech infrastructure that we have behind it, we don't let the customers feel the challenges. The customers, for try before you buy, for them is a seamless process, even after they return or exchange the product. So उनको नहीं पता कि इसके पीछे कितनी complications हैं और कितने potential issues आते हैं, because we solve them on a runtime basis. Our delivery team, our warehouse team, and our customer services team, we call them the champions here at Jomo. So they are always working together, and these challenges exist, but nothing that really we can't solve ourselves.
Awesome. So there is another question. इसी बात से related है, the challenges you are talking about. How do you see returns percentage as a challenge for e-commerce along with other challenges faced by e-commerce?
So देखिए, return is obviously a challenge, yes, but what you have to identify is उसको categorize करना बहुत जरूरी है. There is a pure return, which is आपने order deliver किया customer को, they didn't like it और उन्होंने वापस कर दिया. Then there is a sort of return where the customer was just not available. Rider गया, the customer wasn't available, order फिर वापस आया. Then there are exchanges where customer को deliver हो गया, they didn't like it and they want to exchange it. So these are 3 essentially different things, and all 3 have different solutions. So exchange for you, yes, जो उसकी logistics cost है, that is something that exists, but you are still performing a transaction. जो बाकी 2 returns हैं, जो वो है कि कस्टमर मिला नहीं, they weren't at, घर पे नहीं थे, ऑफिस में नहीं थे, जहाँ पे भी ऑर्डर डिलीवर किया, that's where scheduled delivery comes in. That is where you need to offer the customer enough flexibility in their experience कि आप उनको तब डिलीवर करें जब वो अवेलेबल हो. So अगर आप ऑर्डर के टाइम पे कस्टमर को कहेंगे कि 5 से 7 दिन में डिलीवर होगा, और अब कस्टमर को नहीं पता कि 7 दिन के अंदर किसी भी दिन और उस दिन पे किसी भी टाइम पे डिलीवर हो सकता है, you can't confirm availability of the customer, as opposed to order placement के टाइम पे आप उसे कहें ये 3-4 दिन की आपके पास ऑप्शंस है और इन 3-4 दिन में ये टाइम स्लॉट्स की आपके पास ऑप्शन है, चूज करें आपको कौन सा चाहिए. Then you significantly narrow down the window और कस्टमर चूज वो कर रहे हैं जो जिस टाइम पे वो अवेलेबल होंगे. सो वो चीज़ है, बट एट द सेम टाइम इसके साथ जो दूसरी चीज़ लिंक्ड है कि आपने डिलीवरी भी तेज करनी है, बिकॉज टाइम स्लॉट कस्टमर आज का प्रोबेबली सिलेक्ट कर सकता है, कल का सिलेक्ट कर सकता है, उसको नहीं पता परसों वो क्या कर रहा होगा या परसों का क्या प्लान है. सो दिस टाइम स्लॉट विल ओनली वर्क इफ यू आर ऑफरिंग इट फॉर 1 or 2 days. तीसरे चौथे दिन पे जाके प्लान आउट नहीं कर सकते कस्टमर के इस टाइम पे मैं कंफर्म अवेलेबल हूँ. सो बोथ दीज थिंग्स वर्क हैंड इन हैंड. That is how you can reduce your return percentage. Final चीज जो है वो, yes, obviously आगे कस्टमर को पसंद नहीं आई. That is something that will always exist in e-commerce. The only way you can make it work is जो हमारी थोड़ी सी पहले बात हुई थी of actually giving customers what they see on your website. So yes, returns is a challenge, but again, it's not, it's nothing that can't be solved. अगर आप operationally, logistically और as a business model अपने आप को develop इस तरह करें where you understand that return किसी वजह से आएगा, it won't come for no reason. And if वो वजह you can identify and solve, you can solve the problem of returns as a whole.
All right. So there is another question, try and buy related. Someone is asking, as an expert of logistics industry, is try and buy a good option? What is the market share for this specific model?
Okay, so it is definitely a good option. Market share, तो देखें अभी Zomo is the only one doing it properly. So market share का तो situation हुआ है, but is it a good option? Of course it is. Does it come with, उसमें significant investment की ज़रूरत है? Yes, it does require significant investment, and it has both fixed and variable cost implications. But is it a good option? Depends again on how you view your business. If you are not a customer-centric business, if the customer does not come first for you, then it's not a good option. Then why invest in something when your focus is not the customer? But if your customer is the first priority, as it should be, then yes, of course, this is going to work, because in a way you are bringing the customer खुद तो स्टोर नहीं जा सकता, तो आप स्टोर उनके घर पे लेके आ रहे हैं, राइट? स्टोर पे डिफरेंस क्या है? उन्हें the only thing is कि वो ट्राई रूम में जाके वो चीज़ ट्राई कर लेते हैं. Now they can do it at the comfort of their own homes. So besides the cost implications to it, जो उसके advantages हैं, both in terms of satisfaction, loyalty, retention, and what that does for your brand equity, of course it's a good option for both brands and for logistic companies as well.
All right. So does Jomo work on a drop shipping model, or is it working on a completely inventory-based model like FBA?
So we do both, depending on what the requirement of our brand partners is. Some brands are more comfortable with the inventory model, where they physically want to dispatch the inventory at our own warehouse, because we do have our own warehouse. However, what we've seen is, in terms of the success of the brand on Jomo, it works better in a drop shipping sort of model. And I won't really call it drop shipping, it's more cross docking than drop shipping. Because what that does is, if a brand is physically providing us with inventory, they can't really provide us with all of their inventory, obviously. So wo inventory, both in terms of depth and width, is limited. As opposed to them, we're going on a cross docking / drop shipping model, where we can get access to more of their inventory and products and show them to the customers. उससे जो brand की success and brand की presence on Jomo है, वो significantly increase कर जाती है. So while we do both, in our experience, what has worked best for brands is the drop shipping / cross docking model.
Thank you, Umar, for answering the detailed questions. Umar, Rana, now I think you will be able to answer this question particularly as an e-commerce service provider. What are your thoughts on social media marketing, as cost of marketing is going towards very high side? Umar, you are on mute.
I don't think I'm the right person to actually answer this, because our primary focus is technology. Social media marketing normally comes under marketing agencies scope. So I think Umar Sahi might be able to answer this. Umar?
Ji, so that's an interesting question. थोड़ी सी factually not sure how accurate it is, because when you say the cost of marketing is increasing, let's stick to online and digital and marketing on online and digital platforms. Is it increasing? No, it's actually decreased in the last year, primarily because of the fact that there is a larger audience now to market to, and that audience is spending more and more time on those platforms. So naturally, आपकी cost per impression, cost per acquisition कम हो रही है. So in terms of the cost of marketing, pure cost के आपको कितने पैसे spend करने पड़े to get an order, वो has actually decreased over the last year. In terms of return on that ad spend, that is something that has not increased sufficiently. Reason being कि yes, customers खरीद तो रहे हैं, what they are buying is different, so purchasing power पे वहाँ पे आ जाती है, where customers might not necessarily be buying products of a higher price range, so जो आपका return आता है on ad spend, that might not be so high. Having said that, जो social media marketing या digital media marketing का code है, वो crack करना is a challenge. I will agree completely. Why is it a challenge? Because it depends from business to business. देखें, कुछ businesses are pure, acquisition based, कि हमने हमारा सारा focus है on getting people. Some businesses के लिए that's not important. The cost per acquisition is not important. What is important is कि उनको return क्या आ रहा है. So they are willing to spend as much as possible if the return on their ad spend makes sense. So essentially, the first thing that you need to do is understand what your business model is, what makes sense for you. That's the first thing. The second thing उसमें फिर जो बहुत ज़रूरी आ जाती है, वो it has to obviously do with your whole journey with the customer. What helps us as Jomo is the fact that once a customer has placed an order for the first time, उसके बाद we only really need to retarget them with products of their choice. कोई हमें out of the way जाके उन पे focus करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, because now they have become a satisfied customer because of our service. So what will always help you in your social media marketing is there something tangible that you are offering to the customer that no one else is? If you have that, then you have in a large part solved the social media marketing code. Because जब news feed में customer flip through कर रहे हैं और उसको 100 ads नजर आ रही हैं, आपकी ad में एक वो चीज़ है जो बाकी 99 ads में नहीं है, and that is what sets you apart. Wo if you can do so, in our case obviously that's our customer service, that's when you can crack the code. The point of it, the marketing costs increasing, not necessarily true. I think if you are running a data driven campaign, or if you are running data driven campaigns which are based around but cost budget optimization, where you are actually relying on Facebook and Google's algorithm for the campaigns to work, your cost should not be going up. So I think you should look into that into more detail. But that's basically in a nutshell जो situation is social media marketing.
All right. Thank you so much, Umar Sahi and Umar Rana, for sharing amazing insights about the Zomo model itself and how Alchemative is supporting as a brand agency partnership. Any last words which you want to share with the audience? Umar Sahi, as an e-commerce company, what are your suggestions for anyone who is just starting off, and Umar Rana as an agency, what are your thoughts to share with the new e-commerce businesses and maybe for the existing ones?
My suggestion would be very simple: take the leap of faith. I think if you are, अगर आप एक spiritual इंसान है, then you will need to take that leap of faith. अगर आप spiritual इंसान नहीं है और आप थोड़े data driven इंसान है, then just look at the data. Then it just makes it so easy for you to take that leap of faith. Look at the numbers, look at the trends for the last year, last 2 years, and then फिर मेरी suggestion की ज़रूरत नहीं है और किसी भी suggestion की ज़रूरत नहीं है. It's there in front of you. Do it. The growth in e-commerce is there is still a lot to do. The advantage that you have is that you also have a lot of opportunities within it that still exist. Abhi bhi gaps hai. So there is still a lot of things that someone can come and do for the first time in e-commerce that has not been done before. That is the biggest advantage. So my biggest suggestion would be take the risk. It's worth it.
So I would say find a business model, identify your USP before you start. Don't blindly copy somebody else's model and think it will work. It have worked for them, it will work for you. It's not always the case. So always try to develop your own USP for your product or the brand.
All right. Thank you so much, Team Alchemative, Jomo, and all the audience who have joined us for the session. This is the end of it. Hope to see you all soon in some other webinar. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Umar. Thank you, Rida. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.